presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Miller Park, Milwaukee on a Tuesday night, a rainy Tuesday night. The roof is closed up and we're dry for baseball. Sausages are making their rounds before the game. The American League has arrived. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Milwaukee Brewers, and a former Blue Jay, Eric Thames, back in the lineup. He left the game Sunday at Wrigley, but he's A-OK and back in there tonight. And the Brewers hit late May in first place as they begin this homestand, a game and a half up on the St. Louis Cardinals. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us on this Tuesday night. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Menard is our reporter tonight. And Rock, we hit this mark of late May. The Brewers are in first place. They played very well on the road. Now they start a nice little home swing here at Miller Park. Give us a big picture analysis of what you've seen from this team so far.
Well, first of all, it's never too early to talk about it when you're in first place.
Right.
I mean, yeah, some people think that's not the case, but you can see what the Brewers have been able to do. They've been pretty good on the road all season long, but lately at home, very good. Last 12 games at home, 9-3. Remember that 5-1 homestand that they had? Everybody seems to be contributing. The home runs are down a little bit, but the runners in scoring position at bats have been very good. You can see what they're facing. 13 of 17 games right here at Miller Park. We got a couple of tough teams coming in, Arizona and LA.
Only road trip is a 4-gamer at the New York Mets in the middle of these two homestands. Jimmy Nelson coming off a great start against the Padres. He's back on the mound. He's had a terrific month. See if he can keep it going. Sophia Menard has more on the Jimmy Nelson May story right after this.
Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. By Cupie and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Cupie and Abraham, tell them you mean business. And by Menards, Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. The Brewers are back at Miller Park after a week on the road. A look at today's pitching matchups as the Brewers welcome the Toronto Blue Jays for a two-game interleague series. For Toronto, it'll be Joe Biagini, who began the season in the bullpen, now just making his fourth start for Toronto. And for the Brewers, it'll be Jimmy Nelson getting ready for his ninth start of the season, a 2-2 record, and the earned run average 3.86. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sophia Minner. It's early in the season, but Jimmy Nelson has already done something that he was only able to do 2 times over 32 starts last year. In his last starts against the Boston Red Sox and his recent start against the San Diego Padres, Nelson struck out 8 batters. So he's shown improved command, part of that coming on his curveball, and it's been part of a much better month of May for Jimmy Nelson. You see how he started the season, just 1-2 over his first 5 starts, but over May, he has 1.15 earned run average in 3 starts, 18 strikeouts for him, and just 5 walks. Manager Craig Counsell spoke about Nelson's improved execution.
I think his last start, he had a very good feel for his curveball, so that did lead to some of the strikeouts. But you know, for Jimmy, the bottom line is, you know, like we talked about for Chase on Sunday, it's, you know, when he's ahead in the count, and then those pitches are open to him, and then you got confidence throwing him. You're throwing him in good counts. You're throwing him in a 1-2 count instead of a 3-2 count. So when he gets in that spot, I think you got a better chance to execute as well.
The Brewers bats have been at their best in the first inning, outscoring opponents 45-15. They look to continue that success against the Toronto Blue Jays and back Jimmy Nelson on the mound. First pitch coming up next here at Miller Park.
And there's a drive. It is gone! Welcome back to the show, Eric Sogard. And Arcia sends one deep to right center field. Back to back.
Back at Miller Park, ready to play ball once again. The Brew Crew, led by Jimmy Nelson, ready to start a homestand tonight. Interleague Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays are here. Brewers Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Let the games begin. Great to have you with us. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard, our reporter. Tonight's game being produced by Dan Keener, directed by Mark Vittorio. And all of our great crew here in Milwaukee. John Gibbons, skipper of the Toronto Blue Jays, a team that made it to the American League Championship Series a year ago. 10th season as the Blue Jays manager. It is his second tour as the Toronto skipper, a native of Texas. And his batting order today looks like this, courtesy of Potawatomi. He's got Kevin Pillar leading off. Ezekiel Carrera will hit second. Jose Bautista, note, will bat third and play third tonight. First start of the year for him at third base. Kendrys Morales at first. Devin Travis, Russell Martin, Chris Coghlan, Ryan Goins, and Joe Biagini rounded out the lineup that will face Jimmy Nelson, partner.
Well, Jimmy Nelson going along pretty well. He's 2-2. Ninth start here tonight, 386 overall. And that earned run average in large part due to a very good month of May. He's given up only 2 earned runs in his last 3 starts, including a win last time out at San Diego, making his second career start against Toronto.
Blue Jays are coming to Milwaukee from Baltimore. They avoided a sweep at the hands of the O's on Sunday. Got a win behind former Brewer Marco Estrada. Brewers split with the Cubs, had a terrific road trip where they went 4-2. And the first pitch is upstairs, and away we go from Miller Park. Ballpark looks great. Crowd still filing in. This 6:40 start. Remember, all these Monday, Tuesday games are 6:40 starts this season. Brewers won both games in Toronto earlier in the year. That was the first road trip of the season. That was after a 2-5 homestand to start the year. And the Brewers have really started to play well as Pillar singles back up the middle, and the Blue Jays have a runner on to start this game.
Well, let's check out the Menards defense for the Brewers. Defense has been very good for the Brewers in the month of May. Very good in the last road trip. Ron Perez and Santana. Perez getting a start out in center field. Broxton sitting this one out. Shaw, Arcia, VR, Thames from third to first, and Manny Pena getting a start behind home plate.
Well, Hernan Perez has the shot sheet out, or at least the spray chart sheet in his world, and getting the start in center field tonight. What a valuable asset Hernan Perez has turned himself into with the Brewers, playing all over the diamond. There's a strike. First one's in there on Ezekiel Carrera. Left-handed hitting right fielder for the Blue Jays. Jays are in dead last in the American League East. It has been a surprising struggle for Toronto, but when you take a glance at their disabled list, you can understand why. They have 10 players on the DL, including their all-star left side of the infield in Troy Tulowitzki and a former MVP in Josh Donaldson. 2 former MVPs there, and the MVP candidate certainly in Tulowitzki when he's healthy. But Rocky is out with a hamstring injury. Donaldson's out with a calf strain. Those 2 are expected back soon, but they will not be back in this series.
Well, and again, I mean, that's why the Toronto Blue Jays, for the most part, have been struggling offensively. They have not been consistent scoring runs, and it really manifests itself much deeper than just offense. I mean, that is a big letdown in that clubhouse when those two guys are not in the lineup every day.
Well, the big bat of Jose Bautista is still in the lineup, and he's been hot lately. He and Pillar, who started this game with a single. So it'll be a good test for the Brewers. Got the Diamondbacks coming in for 4 after this 2-game series. Don't forget, tomorrow is a day game, an early start tomorrow. 12:10 first pitch. We'll be on the air at 11:30 tomorrow. A little breakfast with Craig and Davey for Brewers Live pregame. Bouncer up the middle, ranging over. VR took a weird bounce and unable to get the double play. Glad to get the 1 out at second base. That one took a right turn just as it went into its final bounce.
Yeah, had some crazy spin on it right off the end of the bat, and VR not taking any chances. You can see he was in pretty good position to go either way, able to get the lead runner, but not able to get the double play.
Pillar is out, 4 unassisted. Carrera reaches on a fielder's choice, and here comes Jose Bautista now. And Bautista enters this game on a good streak in May. Been a hot hitter as the weather has warmed up a little bit. And he rips one through the hole for a base hit. Bautista not wasting any time against Jimmy Nelson. And the Blue Jays with 2 on, 1 out.
And in watching Jimmy Nelson his last 3 starts, his location has been so good. Not so much right there. That one pretty much down the middle of the plate. I mean, down on the corners, pitching inside. You know, not afraid to hit a batter, and that's one thing you have to do with this Blue Jays ball club. You got to pitch inside. Can't be afraid to come in there. Jimmy Nelson never has been afraid to pitch inside.
So Nelson with 2 on and a little bit of stress here in the first inning. He'll face Kendrys Morales, who is typically the designated hitter for the Blue Jays. Tonight gets a start at first base. Morales had 3 hits in that 2-game series in Toronto. Now Nelson's curveball in San Diego was the big pitch for him. He went 6 innings in that game against the Padres. That was in the middle of a 4-game winning streak for the Brewers. They lost the first game and the last game of the road trip, but won 4 in between. Bouncing ball, got a chance for 2 here. Nice easy hop for VR. Arcia easy to first and a double play to end the inning. 4-6-3. Jimmy Nelson gets the ground ball, and we head to the home first. The Brew Crew coming up against Joe Biagini and the Blue Jays. Milwaukee, game 1 of this 2-game series. Blue Jays failed to score in the top of the first. Now the Brewers are coming up. Jonathan VR will lead off for Craig Counsell's Brewers today. Counsell has VR, Thames, and Braun. In the middle goes Shaw, Santana, Perez, and the bottom 3, Pena, Arcia, and Jimmy Nelson. Counsell has seen enough already. Exit stage left. The skipper. All right, Rock, what do you have on Joe Biagini, 27-year-old right-hander?
Yeah, making his 4th start in the big leagues. He was a starter down in the minor leagues throughout his entire minor league career. He came up last year, really had a good postseason for the Blue Jays. Not what you would call a power pitcher, but he's got a good curveball, a cutter, and he will sink the fastball.
And you notice right away that he starts from the stretch despite nobody on. His comfort zone, pitching out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays the last 2 seasons, or last year his rookie year, and then to start this season. He was actually mechanically working on the windup over the weekend in Baltimore, but I guess he's not quite comfortable to put it in play just yet, so he'll continue from the stretch.
Yeah, you can't be thinking about a windup when you're out there in the field. Really, you can't think about any of that stuff mechanically. It's got to be second nature. He's a big dude. He's 26 years old, 6'5", 240 pounds.
just making the conversion to the starting rotation in early May as VR bunts right through one. Biagini went to the rotation on May 7th. The Blue Jays are banged up in their starting core as well. Jay Happ, a 20-game winner last year, is out. A potential ace, Aaron Sanchez, has blister problems, and Francisco Liriano as well. Marco Estrada pitched Sunday and had a gem against Baltimore, but this was billed to be as the best starting rotation in the American League, Rock, and yet they are down 3 right now and counting.
Yeah, well, nothing's really going well for the Blue Jays, and that's why they're in last place, 8.5 games back. And yeah, Marco's having a good run here. He's got a .330 earned run average, 3-2.
BR with a swing and a miss, and Biagini starts his night with a strikeout of the Brewers leadoff hitter.
Well, the Blue Jays about middle of the pack in the American League in team defense. As you check out the Menards defense, they're second in the American League in double plays. They've turned 47. The Texas Rangers before today's game have turned 58 double plays. You can see Jose Bautista getting his first start this year at third base. He made a lot of starts for a couple of years in Pittsburgh at third.
Now Bautista, that's big news in Toronto. The fact that Bautista is getting the start here tonight. As Rock mentioned, his first. He's played 2 games over there. Those were both mid-game moves to third base for Bautista, but in 07 and in 08 he was basically the everyday third baseman for the Pirates. Traded that 08 season from Pittsburgh to Toronto and completely changed the arc of his career.
And it looks like he's still using that outfield glove. That's a big glove right there for a third baseman. It looks like an outfield glove, doesn't it? Maybe a little bit small, maybe not.
Been a long time, but I'm sure he's still comfortable over there. Eric Thames, former Blue Jay, slow roller. That's going to go through, a base hit. So Thames is aboard.
Yeah, both of them decide to peel off for fear of running into each other. There's enough guys hurt on this team to start with.
Ryan Goins getting the start at short for Tulowitzki while he's out, and Travis, the second baseman, converging as well. Thames will take it. We'll keep an eye on Thames tonight. He is back in the starting lineup. He was disappointed to be taken out of the game on Sunday. He was having some leg cramps, but felt like it was not severe, but understood the precautionary measure by the Brewers to take him out. He's more disappointed in himself, I think, Thames.
Yeah, well, especially when the Brewers were down by quite a bit already. So take him out, get some treatment, and make sure you're ready, to go tonight.
And he's got a single in his first at bat. Here's Ryan Braun now. Second day back for Braun. Was in the starting lineup on Sunday in Chicago. Ryan with 7 homers, 19 RBIs before heading to the disabled list just shy of 2 weeks. And a big swing by Braun.
And very encouraging. The Brewers were able to play some really good baseball while Braun was on the disabled list. A lot of guys stepping up. The home runs were down, but runners in scoring position numbers outstanding for the Brewers as of late. If you take away Sunday's game.
Now what jumps out at you is in the starting lineup tonight, of the 8 position players, 6 Brewers have an OPS over 800. Braun's at 903. Thames is at 1100. These are pretty gaudy numbers for the Brewers this late in the season. Thames missed a little bit of time during that San Diego road trip with strep throat, still trying to get fully healthy again.
And bottom line, they're all making pretty solid contact, not just bloopers over the infield.
Biagini deals to Braun, up and in. 3-1 the count. Now Braun's on base percentage is up over 350, slugging nearly 550. Brewers scored about a run more per game with Braun in the lineup than without, even though the Brewers had success, won a lot of ball games with Braun on the disabled list. This is an offense that clicks at its best when Ryan Braun is in there. And he shoots one right off the knee of Morales, and a race to the bag, and Braun is out.
Yeah,
Boy, that was a bullet.
Well, nobody does that better than Ryan Braun. Hits that ball so hard to the opposite field, unfortunately right at Morales, who doesn't have any range at all. And unfortunately Braun hit it right at him, didn't have to budge, actually didn't even get a glove on it hardly, and yeah, able to make the play himself over at first. Tough break for Brawny.
So Braun is out. Thames to second. 2 outs in the inning, and here comes Travis Shaw. Shaw with 9 homers. He's the club leader in RBIs with 34. He has proven himself to be more than a platoon player, which is where the Red Sox had him last year in the second half of the season. He was playing every day for Boston in the first half. He swung the bat well early in the season and then hit a little skid, and the Red Sox pulled the plug. You might remember they made a deal with the Brewers to get a right-handed batting third baseman, Aaron Hill, to complement the left-handed version of third base in Travis Shaw. And he's always fashioned himself an everyday player and wanted to prove that to the Brewers this year, and you couldn't ask for a better start.
Yeah, no kidding. Even against left-handed pitching, and he's going to get a lot of playing time over here the way he's been able to get off and running this year.
Shaw with 2 hits on Sunday in Chicago, extending his hitting streak to 11. And late in the game, 9th inning, Shaw took a low sinker and launched it into the bleachers. Home run number 9 on the Powerball home run count.
Down and in. That's a dangerous spot to be throwing Travis Shaw. That's his power zone.
Biagini's got him down 1-2. And he got him. A strikeout. And the inning is over. A couple of Ks for Biagini. Off and running at Miller Park. We go to the second.
Brewers and the Blue Jays are scoops from the clubhouse, brought to you by Car Soup with manager Craig Counsell. On Sunday, the Brewers got Ryan Braun back from the disabled list, and on Friday they will get back their opening day starter, Junior Guerra, who will be activated on Friday. He is slated to make his place in the rotation there, and Craig Counsell said he's passed every test. He's been cleared by the trainers. I spoke with Guerra. He threw a bullpen earlier today. Told me he feels really good after his 2 minor league rehab starts, one with Biloxi and one with Colorado Springs. And BA and Rock, earlier you were talking about Eric Thames. He is back in the lineup, as you guys said, and they're just going to have to work on a new routine to deal with those leg issues that he had. It was cramping on Sunday. Counsell said, of course, the strep throat earlier this week didn't help, got him out of his routine. He's coming back from that illness, lost some strength. But they really want to keep him healthy and strong and productive, and Counsell said it's obviously important for him to be out there, so they're working on a new routine with the training staff to keep him strong.
All right, thanks a lot, Sophia. Good report. Now, I would say when the weather warms up, that's going to help him immensely, being able to get, especially here at Miller Park, get on the field, batting practice, kind of get through your normal rigors.
And the grind of the Major League season, a lot different than over in Korea.
A lot more off days over there for sure. As Travis into right field, and that's going to fall, a base hit. I think Santana lost it in the lights, and Devin Travis continues his hitting ways. He is now 16 for his last 29. Has an 8-game hitting streak going.
And doing a lot what the Brewer offense has been doing, going to the opposite field. He did it again. Didn't hit all that hard, but that was where he was thinking, not trying to pull it. Ends up getting a base hit.
Third single already against Jimmy Nelson. Jimmy did get a double play ball to end the first inning. And here is Russell Martin. Put a fastball right by him. Martin just returning to the active lineup and roster as well for the Blue Jays. He's been out with a shoulder injury. Nothing internal as far as throwing. It was actually, from what I was told, a cyst on the back of his shoulder, and he had no strength at all, could hardly raise his arm. They took care of the matter, and then he had to go and rehab it, strengthen it back up. He returned this weekend in Baltimore. He actually played third base on Sunday just to keep his bat in the lineup and get him going a little bit.
Yeah, he's had a rough start. I mean, he at 202, a guy that's you know, really his value is behind home plate, but he has been able to hit throughout his career. Off to a rough start, like a lot of these Blue Jays hitters.
He's always had good success against the Brewers. He's been one of those tough outs all those years, or those couple of years in Pittsburgh. Against the Brewers lifetime, Martin is a .306 hitter. And a shot to right, base hit. Santana tried to cut it off. Travis is on his way to third, and the Blue Jays are knocking at the door with 2 on and nobody out in the second inning.
Man, Jimmy's leaving a lot of his pitches up and down the middle of the play. That slider ended up right down the middle. Check it out. That's a location you don't want. That was actually a fastball that was center cut, and Russell Martin able to hit it hard out there in the right field. But when Jimmy has been going along so well this month, everything's been down on the corners. He's having a bit of a tough time with that so far.
4 hits already in the first 6 batters faced for Nelson. And they're at the corners for Chris Coghlan. Coghlan takes a strike. Former Rookie of the Year with the Marlins, Chris Coghlan, back in '09. A couple years with the Cubs.
Does have a career home run against Jimmy Nelson.
They'll ask if he went, and able to check his swing. Blue Jays just trying to hold it down until they get some of their big guns back. Yeah, 2 frontline pitchers out and 2 frontline hitters out as well, among the 10 on the disabled list.
He's sitting right now 6 games, I should say 7 games under 500.
John Gibbons, excellent manager, never gets too worked up about anything. He's a good old country boy, and he realizes it is approaching June 1st and they have not performed well. He makes no excuses about the injuries. Little tapper foul.
Every team goes through injuries, but when you have 10 guys on the DL at the same time, that makes it very difficult to compete in the major leagues.
I see where they rank. These are AL ranks, so 15 teams in the American League, and see Toronto is hovering in the bottom third in most of the major offensive categories, and that's a real shock. They are without a lot of production, but this is a ball club that bangs away with the best of them. That's why they were so excited this year after making it to the postseason last season, and finally able to complement that great offense with a great pitching staff.
Yeah, they lost Edwin Encarnacion. He's no longer with the ball club. They picked up Kendrys Morales, another home run hitter.
Full count to Coughlin. 2 on to start the inning. And Nelson lost him. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Now the Blue Jays disabled list. This is a ball club with the 5th highest payroll in the majors, $182 million, and $70 million of that is currently on the disabled list or thereabouts.
Yep, Hap, Liriano, a couple of left-handed pitchers, and then 2 bangers in that lineup. Yeah, Tulowitzki, Donaldson. Boy, Tulowitzki's had his injury problems, hasn't he?
And it's another hamstring injury this year. He's dealt with those often in his career. Well, the bases are loaded and nobody out. There is a way out of this inning for Nelson, but it starts right here with Goins. You got the pitcher due up next, Biagini, who rarely bats. So some high pressure pitches early for Jimmy Nelson. That's a strike. Pena, always ready to throw behind runners, was looking to steal an out.
That has a great effect. I mean, keep a runner close, even at third base.
You never know, that one step might buy you an out at the plate on a bang bang play.
Yeah.
The 1-1. Goins, a liner, base hit in the left. Travis is in. 1-0 Toronto, and the bases are still loaded. And a key hit early for the Blue Jays. A bases loaded single and an RBI from Ryan Goins.
And check it out. Looked like another spinner up there down the middle of the plate, and Goins able to hit it into left field. Breaking pitch down the middle. And Jimmy right now is having a difficult time putting the ball on the edges, and the Blue Jays are taking advantage of it.
The 5th hit. 5 hits and a walk in the first 8 batters faced for Nelson. And now the pitcher coming up, Joe Biagini. We told you Biagini has been a reliever at the major league level all of last year and to start this season. He does have 1 plate appearance. Dropped a bunt down, and Nelson not even close, and Derek Johnson will join Manny Pena on the mound.
Yeah, good visit by DJ just to kind of calm him down a little bit. Things are moving pretty quickly out there for Jimmy at this point. Start rushing the mechanics a little bit. You leave pitches upstairs.
Usually visits like this aren't philosophical in nature. Talking to Derek Johnson, I'm always curious to know in certain situations what a pitching coach might say. He goes, when a pitcher's having command issues, he tries to give him 1 or 2 specific mechanical things to try to change the brain a little bit, right?
Yeah, in this case, I think he's just trying to, end the momentum for the Toronto Blue Jays. I've been out there for those chats, and a lot of times you're not talking about mechanics. I mean, it's a little bit too late. You can't be doing that during the game. You're just trying to calm him down a little bit, give him a breather, and hopefully he'll reset himself a little bit.
Every pitcher has buzzwords with his coaches, whatever those are. For Jimmy Nelson, I'm sure Derek Johnson trying to come up with a good one. Now that's a good sinker. Even it's against the pitcher at the plate, that one had good life.
Right. Wow. And this is the 2-seamer that he's been throwing a little bit off the plate, but the movement is what is impressive.
Try to barrel that one up. 1-2 and a ground ball. Slow roller out there. Throw to first is wide, and another run's going to score. And Biagini will drive in his first run as a major league hitter. And it's 2-0 Toronto.
Yeah, not hit hard enough to turn the double play, even on a guy that's 6'5", 240. Busting it down that line to try to get that RBI. You can see VR just a little bit out of sync over there at second base, not able to get much on the throw.
Well, that's a victory for Biagini and the Blue Jays. You get a pitcher typically an automatic out, especially a guy who doesn't hit much, and he's able to drive in a run. First and third now, one away. Top of the order, here's Kevin Pillar. There's a slider in there for a strike. Pillar's been hot. He and Bautista have been scorching. That's a ground ball. Shaw's coming home, and Coughlin is put out. So Shaw, instead of trying to go for two, remember Pillar runs well. He took a shot to eliminate a run and does so.
Yeah, it would have been kind of 50-50 whether they're going to be able to turn the double play. You can see Pillar gets out of the box in real good shape. I think they may be able to turn it, but you just want to make sure. You don't want to go down by 3 runs. A split-second decision that you really can't second guess.
Putout goes 5-2 for the second out of the inning. First and second now, and it'll be Ezequiel Carrera. Two runs are in for Toronto on 3 hits. RBIs from Goins and Biagini, 8 and 9 hitter. And there's that breaking ball again.
And a good one to start out a hitter. That'll put a little doubt in their mind. Throw that first pitch curveball. Been better since Derek Johnson went out there.
And another breaking ball. And Carrera, a big swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Blue Jays had the bases loaded, nobody out. Nelson surrendering 2, trying to get through this second inning. 2 on, 2 away. Carrera swings and misses. Nelson with his best fastball. Hopefully he's got it turned around now. Tough start for Nelson. Comes back to strike out Carrera to end the inning. The home second. Brewers are coming up. And just in case you missed it, our Potawatomi batting order. Santana will lead off for the Crew, a hot hitter as of late. Santana, Perez, and Pena, first three up against Biagini here in the second inning. And the Brewers playing from behind tonight. First ball swinging, foul ball. Santana over his last 20 games has hit .373, has 3 home runs in that stretch and 14 ribbies. Has anchored down right field.
And it's come up with a lot of 2-out base hits with runners in scoring position. He's been clutch.
And he's a guy that knows his strike zone well as well. Very good plate discipline. You see a batting average for Santana at .273 and an on-base percentage of .370. You start getting into that number around 100 points higher on base than batting average, you've done something. That means you're taking a lot of walks.
And you know what he's been able to do better this year than last? I mean, he's even patient with 2 strikes. I mean, a lot of hitters, it's really easy to be patient and be very disciplined in the strike zone before you get 2 strikes. Then that panic sets in a little bit. But Santana has learned to be patient even with 2 strikes.
He's in our mini Countryman player profile. See his poor start in April. He did hit 5 home runs in the month, but started to get on base a lot more. Hit for average. Power numbers, production numbers were there in April. And they'll ask if he went. Able to check his swing, says first base umpire Mike Winters. That's the crew chief over there at first base. In case we have a replay scenario, he'll be the man to put the headset on. Veteran umpire Mike Winters. Marty Foster calling the balls and strikes tonight. 2-2. Santana takes a ball. That's to your point, Brock. There's Marty Foster. Chad Whitson, Mike McClinsky are the base umpires.
Nice
joining Winters.
Nice to be high and dry here at Miller Park.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of rain around the country, especially 90 minutes south of Chicago. And right on cue, Santana looks at 2 off the plate with 2 strikes and draws the walk.
Yeah, that confidence in his hands. He's confidence in his strike zone, and that's why he's got that on base percentage up.
Santana's 21st walk. Only Thames has more on the ball club with 26. So Domingo is aboard, and here comes Hernan Perez, tonight's Brewers center fielder. Perez making his 5th start in center field tonight. And he's on the first pitch. He fouls it away in the seats. I get asked a lot, what is Hernan's best position? I don't know how to answer that right now. I mean, he's good at every position.
He doesn't really have a weakness. He's got enough arm to be able to play in the outfield, particularly right field. Tremendous arm.
He's just a ball player.
I asked him, last homestand what he prefers. He likes to play, just wants his at bats, but much more comfortable, obviously, in the infield. And he has learned quickly how to play in the outfield. He says Ed Cedar helps him quite a bit.
Craig Counsell was talking about Perez and the versatility that he brings. And he made the connection to Eric Sogard the other day because he feels like Craig always felt this way as a player. Although he didn't play in the outfield, he said, I would have been able to go out to any of the outfield spots and not make a fool of myself. I wouldn't have been a Gold Glove outfielder, but a good defender can play anywhere on the field and have an idea. And Perez is being rewarded for that idea because he's hitting. And so Counsell threw him out there last year, and he's done a very good job. And he threw Sogard in left field the other day at Wrigley Field. Sogard had never played a game in the outfield as a professional player, minor leagues or major leagues.
He did get thrown out there in spring training from time to time, and not too much.
2-1. Perez broke his bat, liner to short, hustling back Santana. And the first out of the inning.
Hey, All-Star Game voting is underway, and the crew needs your vote. Vote early, vote often, and vote Brewers to send your hometown stars to Miami this July for the All-Star Game. Cast your ballot the maximum 35 times at Brewers.com/vote for your chance to win a meet and greet with Ryan Braun. We actually interviewed Aaron on last homestand. I interviewed him, and we were talking about all the different gloves that he has. You know, first base, outfield, third base, middle infield. He doesn't have a catcher's mitt yet. I offered mine.
Your Spider's glove?
Yeah.
That's a good one. Pena takes a strike.
But I also asked him in that interview, do you ever have an interest in playing all 9 positions one time? He said, yeah, he asked Counsell last year, but Counsell shut him down really quickly.
Seems like a novelty act, and the Brewers manager is not into novelties.
Yeah,
although
right?
we'd love it. I think it'd be fascinating. He could do it, no problem. Pena on the ground, gloved over there at third base by Bautista. Getsy out at second, and the Blue Jays turn a double play. Making his first start at third base since 2013. And Bautista turns that one into an around the horn 5-4-3 double play. That was nicely done. Anyway, and Bautista makes third base look easy. That was a nicely turned double play to get the Blue Jays out of that last inning.
Needed every inch of that long glove he's got over there at third base. Able to reach down, and you know the impressive part, the crow hop to get a good throw over to second base. He knew who was running, and they're able to turn the double play.
So Biagini faces 3 batters and eliminates a leadoff walk. 2-0 Toronto. We go to the third now. Bautista will lead off. Had a single his first time up. He hit one sharply through the hole between third and short. He has now reached base 15 consecutive games. He's had a big month of May. Wow.
A big month of May, but the average still at 232, right? That's where it kind of started slowly. Last 2 weeks have been terrific.
All but one of his home runs have come in the month of May. Bautista, he's hit 6 in May. 15 of his 22 RBIs have been this month. So he's getting it back to where the Blue Jays want it. Hit a 3-run home run Saturday in Baltimore. It's not a hitter. If you're the Brewers, you want to see get hot, because he can carry an offense all by himself.
Yeah, this is the way you want to face him, though, with nobody on base.
A dead pull hitter is Bautista. Infield and outfield shift over.
Yeah, a lot of room in that right center field gap. Santana not all that deep out there in right. Deep everywhere else.
Only Thames and Santana covering the right side of the field right now. Two-two to Bautista. Long pause by Nelson. That modified windup of his, and he goes to 3-2. Jimmy fighting his command a little bit to start this game. Payoff pitch, big bouncing ball. Arcia waits for it to come down, fires to first. It's a ground ball pop-up is what that was. My goodness.
Right in front of home plate. A little hard in front of home plate.
Hey, a reminder that Sunday on Fox, the Monster Energy Cup Series heats up under the lights in Charlotte. Longest race of the season, Rock. It's the Coca-Cola 600, 4:30 Central on Fox. You knew that.
Big fan.
Gearhead that you are.
Change my own oil.
Currently changed or changed.
And there's two types of guys, right? You change your oil with a wrench or a credit card. One of the two.
Okay. I don't doubt you've changed your oil before.
Not once ever.
But I have, and I wouldn't consider myself an oil changer.
You were gonna go pro at it, weren't you?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
I just like that little cart you could roll in on.
I changed my oil on my lawn tractor.
How'd that go? Good. I changed the oil on my snowblower, and it seized up the next time. So then
got to put some in.
Then I had to get a. Oh yeah, that's right. Once you take the oil out.
You actually use a snowblower?
Well, not anymore. Not after I changed the oil. I didn't really change it. I just removed the oil.
Was it your neighbors?
Oh man, I had a sweet snowblower when I first moved here. 4-wheel drive. The swing and a drive sounded like it was on the barrel. That is way back there, but the ballpark will hold it. Perez makes a catch for the out.
Yeah, Aaron likes to play deep out there in center field. Made that play look easy. A curve ball from Nelson up down the middle, and Morales just got under it, and it stayed in the ballpark. You see that curve ball grip, the rotation at 85 miles an hour, and Morales just missed it.
Hitters try to slow that bat down to match the pitch speed, and that was just enough to stay in. Now Martin, or rather Travis, on the first pitch pops this one up, and Thames has got it. No, VR has got it. You got me, Jonathan. You got us all. That was a good one.
Brewers. Our time now to check in with Brewers COO Rick Schlesinger. And Rick, we've got a busy weekend coming up. The Diamondbacks coming into town. It's Free Shirt Friday, but the big giveaway is this one on Sunday, the Robin Yount motorcycle bobblehead. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is one of the best bobbleheads we've seen. What was the inspiration behind this one?
Well, the 1982 World Series, we didn't win it, but we came close. And in the post World Series celebration, he rode his motorbike into County Stadium, and iconic moment in our history, and it looks great. They did a great job. I wish I could take the credit for designing it, but it's all Robin.
Great image, great bobblehead, and we're also Eric Thames. Been a great story here over the first part of the season. You can't keep the merchandise in stock, so we did a little bit better. We've got a new T-shirt here, Revere the Beard.
June 19th, all fans. Yeah, we're having trouble keeping his stuff in stock, so we figured let's give the fans what they want, which is an Eric Thames T-shirt. Every fan, June 19th.
All right, that's great. BA and Rock, plenty of reasons to come out to the ballpark. And as always, the Brewers marketing team doing a great job with all these fan giveaways.
And good ad-lib by the Brewers front office. Signed off by Rick Schlesinger. You gotta get that Eric Thames gear out quick.
Maybe we should go beards for that day. Yeah, I know you can go with beard.
It's gray though.
Yeah, yours is gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not good. Not a good look. Jimmy Nelson out to play with one away. I'd be all for that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just keep him. You can grow a beard in like 2 days.
Me?
Yeah.
A little spotty.
Put a little Miracle Grow on there.
I've seen you with a beard. You got a nice beard. You should go with it.
It's just it's a lot of different colors.
I have stuff for that.
Well, people think I color my hair when I grow a beard because my beard's got a little red and gray in it. So it's like, well, I don't. My hair is my hair. I'm all for going gray. Nelson, a little dribbler right back to the mound. 2 outs. Biagini is pitching well. 2 up, 2 down here in the 3rd inning. And back to the top of the order now. Biagini's most likely going to be on a strict pitch limit of about 80 to 85 is what we are expecting tonight. Remember, he's just entering into the starting rotation as of May 7th.
He made 14 appearances out of the bullpen. Has not been able to go deeper than 5 innings.
Has 3 starts leading up to this one. And so we'll see the bullpen. The Brewers would like to have him work through some innings here to try to get the pitch count up a little bit and force the hand of John Gibbons. 2 outs for VR, who struck out in the first. Only hit Eric Thames for the Brewers so far. That was a 1-out single in that first inning. VR with 3 hits on Sunday, his first 3-hit game of the year. 3 for 4 against the Cubs in a losing effort. On the ground to second, Travis for the out. Biagini has retired the side, and we are through 3 at Miller Park. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Back at Miller Park, 2-0 Blue Jays as we go to the 4th inning. Good crowd filing in here tonight on a Tuesday night. Field looks fantastic. Immaculate playing conditions here at Miller Park. Roof is all closed. Panels are closed up as well tonight. Got some thunderstorms in the area, some rain falling.
What better place to be when it's raining?
Perfect. Russell Martin leads off. Had a hit his first time up, went to right center with a single. That was part of the 2-run second inning for the Blue Jays, where the first 4 batters reached on 3 hits and a walk. RBIs from Goins and Biagini, the pitcher. 8-9 batters in this Toronto lineup, driving in runs. Nelson did bounce back, had a 3-up, 3-down third. Got Bautista, Morales, and Travis. See if he can get it going now. Good sinker there. Bouncer to third. Shaw winds it up. And Thames will put the tag on Martin running by, and that's out number 1.
Hey, it's a battle of good versus evil at Marvel's Superheroes Day, presented by Quick Trip. That's Saturday, June 3rd. The Brewers battle the villainous Los Angeles Dodgers. I just read them. And fans who purchase this special ticket package will get a Brewers Iron Man bobblehead. Get your tickets today at brewers.com/theme nights.
Is villainous not a word that you would normally use in your everyday?
I don't believe I've ever used that in a sentence until tonight.
Bobblehead game is.
I've used good versus evil.
I'm impressed. Whoever's handling the bobbleheads is doing a bang-up job. They are excelling at their job.
So this isn't actually supposed to be one of the Brewer players.
It's Iron Man.
Right.
Didn't you read the card?
I did.
Oh.
I'm just saying most of the bobbleheads kind of represent somebody on the team. Like the Jedi Keon bobblehead.
I got it.
We did have that here this year.
Did you save me one? Chris Coughlin with one away. I've noticed a lot of things have changed and moved around here in the booth since I was last here, by the way.
Well, you lost your foothold. It's like, you know, getting out of the batter's box in BP. You just, you know, you got to earn your way back in. Your chair was all messed up.
Took down all my pictures. Took me a while to do some housekeeping when I got back.
Did you see the sign at your locker said Matt on it?
I did. Property of Matt LePay. 2-2 to Coughlin.
Good to be back at Miller Park.
Yeah, it's great. Great to be here. Thanks to Matt LePay, did a terrific job.
Yep.
My job share partner, Matt LePay. Craig Kashan will have a few games later in the year as well. Got a good team here.
Yeah.
Great to be part of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nelson facing Chris Coughlin. And Nelson and Pena not connecting on the signals. Jimmy says, start him over, Manny. Now he's got the one he wants. Ooh, just missed.
Location has been much better since the visit by Derek Johnson last inning. A little reset out there in the mound in the middle of an inning. It's amazing sometimes how innings can get away from you. I mean, you make a couple of bad pitches, and all of a sudden it's in your head and you just can't find that good location. And a well-timed visit to the mound, either by your catcher, your pitching coach, or both, and can really settle you down sometimes.
Nothing but out since that visit. 3-2 pitch on the ground, right to VR. 4-3 ground out. Now, since the visit to the mound, there have been 5 ground ball outs. The next 2 hitters reached on fielder's choices. Biagini drove in a run with a fielder's choice, but those are outs, and that makes it 9 in a row since.
Well, words of wisdom, knowing the right thing to say, when to say it, how to say it, different for every pitcher.
2 gone. Here comes Goins, and Nelson misses that one. Darwin Barney started at shortstop on Sunday in Baltimore. Goins gets a call here today, trying to fill the gaps until Troy Tulowitzki returns. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the inning, and Nelson misses high and away. Brewers have only 1 hit offensively. That was a Thames single, and Eric will lead off in the 4th inning. Thames, Braun, Shaw coming up. Second time through against Biagini. Here's a 2-1. In there, strike, good pitch.
Perfect, right on the corner, 95 miles an hour.
Well, command can get Nelson in trouble, but his stuff can get him out quickly. He was able to wiggle off a hook in the 2nd. Remember, the Blue Jays had the bases loaded and nobody out. Scored 2 in that inning. Had a chance for a whole lot more. Goins had an RBI single. That's the last hit by a Blue Jay in this game. Full count. Hit sharply into right center, and that's going to go to the wall, and Goins is on his way to 2nd with a stand-up 2-out double in the 4th inning.
Yeah, 3-2 fastball down the middle, and Goins didn't waste it. Good news for Jimmy. He's got the pitcher coming up with 2 outs. He's centered on that, looking fastball, got it middle in, and found the gap out in right center.
So Goins is 2 for 2. And now Biagini with his first career RBI, his last time at the plate. I mentioned that he is hardly hit, being a reliever last year. However, he did come up in the Giants system as a starting pitcher, and at the AA level, pitchers begin to hit if you're on a National League affiliate. So he did get a full season of at-bats during starts at the AA level 2 years ago, at 20 at-bats in 2015, and then didn't have another at-bat until just the other day in his last start in Atlanta, when he got 1 plate appearance and dropped down a bunt.
Yeah, you would think that National League pitchers would have an advantage in interleague play, but it really hadn't played out that way.
American League rosters don't have to go through quite the discussion. That's a fair ball. Nice play by Manny Pena, and he puts a quick tag on Biagini. Jumped on that quickly before it spun foul. Well done, inning over. Nelson gives up a double with 2 outs, but that's it. That is an excellent heads-up play by Pena.
Brewers trailed 2-0. And how do you spend an off day in Milwaukee? Well, Thames and his teammates Oliver Drake and Corey Knebel had the chance, a very special opportunity, to make a custom brew over at Miller Coors. So they did the full tour of the Miller Coors Brewery, and then they really got down to work working with the master brewers over at Miller Coors. Talked to Corey Knebel about it. He said that they really got to make some decisions on the hops, the grains, what they wanted to put in there, but he said we let the professionals do the real work in terms of telling us what would taste good. So this special brew will be available for fans at a later date. There will be a ticket package along with that, but Corey Knebel said it was a great experience. He likes to brew his own beer at home in Texas and said it was just awesome to see the professionals do it, to talk with the master brewers over there. He said they had a fantastic day.
Sounds good. That's a great way to spend an off day. These brewers have become real brewers, sort of. Always a good spot. Thames is a beer connoisseur. I remember that's one of the first statements he made when asked about signing with the Brewers and what he's looking forward to about Milwaukee. He goes, well, I'm a huge fan of beer and all the different varieties. He's a big, IPA guy.
That's the only way you can be a connoisseur. You have to like it, right?
He's all in.
He is not alone in that.
Sends one to left field. Just missed it on the bat. And Coughlin is there for the first out. One away. See where he got this one.
It was a fastball up. It was away. Got it down on the end a little bit. Kept it in the ballpark with a good effort going to the opposite field with it.
So Biagini's rolling right along here. Only one hit and one walk. He wiped out the walk with a double play. He's faced one over the minimum as we play here in the fourth. Here's Ryan Braun. Biagini coming off an 8-pitch third inning.
You know what? I've been trying to come up with a hobby. I think I might have found it there. I might start brewing some beers. What do you think?
I think you're probably more suited for beer drinking than beer brewing. More of a finished product guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, don't bother with it.
I mean, it's practically a hobby already.
Just leaving it to the professionals over at the Miller Coors plant. I agree. You know what? And that's not a good idea. I'd rather do that than change my oil.
They usually work hand in hand.
Yeah. They've got it down pat, those folks.
1-1 to Braun. A bender in there for a strike.
Man, he's got a good curveball. Seems like he's got two. One he throws like that one right there just for a strike, and then he's got the put away curve. Throws it a little bit harder.
What a find for the Blue Jays prior to last season. A Rule 5 pickup from San Francisco. Giants did not see this kind of success, but he was lights out in the bullpen last year. He did have a bad September, but he bounced back and hit so well in the postseason for the Blue Jays last year. He did not allow an earned run in 6 playoff games last season. Through the League Division Series against the Rangers and then on into the
Well, you can see
NLC
why.
or ALCS.
I mean, he's got good command out there. He's got good poise. He's, throws 4 different pitches for strikes. He just threw a changeup to Braun on a 2-2 count. He's got good movement on that changeup as well, going down and in to the right-handed batter.
The Blue Jays feel like he could be a starter because he throws 5 pitches. He has a full complement.
And he doesn't walk anybody. 5 walks, 27 punch-outs coming in. He does have 1 walk today. That was Santana back in the second.
As a starter, seeing a lot more curveballs from Biagini. Just shy of 16% of his pitches are curves. Got into the bullpen last year, basically fastball slider. That was one there, and he missed with it. And Braun draws the walk. Second walk issued. First base runner for the Brewers since Santana walked in the second. And that'll bring up Travis Shaw. He's on the Powerball home run leaderboard. Shaw with 9. Thames leads the ball club with 13. Braun, after missing just shy of 2 weeks. He's third on the club with 7. Aaron Judge leads the American League in home runs with 15. Freddie Freeman leads the National League in homers with 14. Thames is second.
Yeah, Brewers still lead the National League in home runs, 66, but a couple of teams are right on their heels. Nationals was 65, Arizona was 64.
Nationals are back at it again tonight. They've hung a 10 spot on the board tonight and have hit a couple of home runs. They lead Seattle 10-1.
So they have hit one more home run than the Brewers this year.
Matter of fact, I beg your pardon, Rock. They've hit 4 tonight. Every time I update this score, the Nationals have hit more home runs. Had an 8-run 4th inning, did the Nationals, at home against Seattle, up 10-1. It's a good ball club there in D.C. Playoff team a year ago. Dusty Baker's Washington Nationals up 6.5 games in the NL East. Nationals are the only team in the NL East over 500. And only the Nationals and the Rockies, the 2 other teams in addition to the Brewers, with winning records at home and on the road.
All right, but you know, as much as play the Washington Nationals have gotten, they've got one more win than the Brewers.
Good point. 26
yeah,
for Washington, 25 for the Brewers.
Everybody talking about what a juggernaut they are, and rightfully so. I mean, they've got it all. I mean, but they've, the Brewers are hanging right in there with them.
Shaw trying to get something going offensively for the Brewers here. Biagini struck him out on a curve last time up, and a high fastball misses. 2-2 the count. Ryan Braun at first, 1 away. And Shaw takes a call, strike 3.
And right on that inside corner. They get that pitch down just a little bit. The cutter. And Shaw might give it a ride, but that one catches the inside corner. And Travis knew it.
That was a great look at the release of a cut fastball. You don't spin the wrist like a slider, right? It just kind of rolls off
finger pressure.
The index finger.
Yeah.
There was a fastball, a cutter, a slider, a curveball, and a changeup. 5 pitches. How do you call that as a catcher? Put all 5 down?
Yeah, well.
Take off your glove?
Sometimes you let the guy, throw the cutter off the fastball. You can do that. You can get away with doing that. Or for the cutter, you spin your one finger around.
Put 3 down. Usually a slider. And Santana rolls one to third base. Bautista makes a play, and the Brewers are done in the 4th. Biagini's pitching well, best as a starter so far in his 4th start.
0 lead over the Brewers. And earlier today, the Women in Sports panel had an engaging and empowering conversation with middle school girls from Girls on the Run program and several women in sports. The event was hosted by the Brewers and Fox Sports Wisconsin with representatives from the Brewers, the Bucks, the Milwaukee Aces, and Fox Sports. And BA and Rock, I had a chance to be a part of that panel. It was a great afternoon. Girls from Pierce Elementary and Mesmer Prep, they are here at the game. And great questions by them, smart girls. They're looking forward to their event, the Girls on the Run race on Sunday, June 4th.
That was a great event. Good turnout, too. Nice job, Sophia. Glad you were a part of that. I would be looking to Sophia's inspiration as well.
Right. Does a heck of a job for us on the sideline, and maybe a few future sideline reporters in the group.
Pilar sends one to center. Lead man here in the Blue Jay 5th, and Perez is there. Out number 1. Pilar is 1 for 3. Yeah, one away. Here comes Ezekiel Carrera. Carrera 0 for 2. He reached on a fielder's choice in the first and then struck out in the second. Shows bunt. Shaw was on it. He was coming in quickly as if he was expecting a bunt.
Those guys that have the reputation of bunting, for base hits, it's a little bit easier to do with nobody on base. I mean, you can play it straight away, which the Brewers are doing defensively against this guy, which is something you very rarely see these days. I mean, that's about as straight away as you'll see the Brewers play anybody. Playing against the bunt at third base.
Carrera's a guy that'll try to bunt for a hit usually once a game. Nelson pours a strike in. It's quickly 0-2. John Gibbons took a phrase out of other sports. You don't hear it about baseball players much, but he calls Carrera a playmaker. He does all the little things, and he gets the offense going. And one thing the Blue Jays have lacked is overall team speed. Carrera's got plenty of that. Two balls and a strike, and down he goes. Nelson strikes out Carrera. It's just his second strikeout. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th.
And again, you get to face Jose Bautista with nobody on base, this time with 2 outs. Two-seam fastball. I think he wanted it down a little bit, but he got it off the outside corner to get him to chase. Threw it right by him.
Both strikeouts on Carrera. 2 gone, nobody on. And here is Bautista swinging at the first pitch, and a base hit to left.
He is locked in. I mean, able to turn around that fastball that was in on him that time. Lightning quick hands. I think that was starting to tail in off the plate, but still able to barrel it up.
Bautista with a multi-hit game. He has 6 multi-hit games in his last 10. And the hottest Blue Jay hitter is aboard with 2 outs for Kendrys Morales. Flew out to deep center his last time up on a curveball from Nelson. Jimmy starts him with a fastball, misses. Big swing by Morales.
Yeah, he got the 2-0 fastball by him. You know he was looking for it, but Jimmy able to get it down in the zone, actually lower than the knees, and he chased it.
Got some good bite to it. Dove down Started as a strike, ended up as a ball, and Morales swung right over the top. That one's right in the middle of the zone, and that's trouble. Morales sends this one way back and out of here off the batter's eye. Just like that, the Blue Jays are up 4-0. Morales with number 8.
He just missed the curveball, didn't miss the fastball. Jimmy went back to it, but this time it wasn't down in the zone. He left that one outer half up around mid-thigh, and Morales hit it off the batter's eye. Check it out. Location, location. Get that pitch down, different result. Mistake, and Morales hits it out. As soon as he made contact, you knew that was out.
Bangs it off the batter's eye in center. Could be a game changer. Goes from 2-0 to 4-0, and it comes with 2 outs. Nelson had 2 outs, nobody on, and surrenders a single to Bautista, 2-run homer to Morales. Devin Travis now. Travis singled and scored in the 2nd inning. On a breaking ball from Nelson.
Yeah, that's the location right there that he wanted to throw to Morales.
Travis had a knee injury last year. He tried to play through it, ended up unable to go in the postseason as the Blue Jays advanced. A very good young hitter, Devin Travis. Fly ball, slicing foul. So our friends from the group Derek's Day at the ballpark. Steve Lindowski and his family putting that group together. All in red down there. Hope that young lady's all right. Took a little spill. It's a good group. Always support Steve and Derek's Day. They do great work. Matter of fact, Jose Bautista hit a home run for Derek. The day he was laid to rest. A very tragic story here in Wisconsin. And Brewers have stood behind this group and the family, the Lindowski family, and even Jose Bautista got into it, got into the act with them. Strikeout. Nelson with a punch out of Travis. Inning is over. Morales hits a 2-run blast, and it's 4-0 Toronto. Run home run gives the Blue Jays a 4-0 lead. Check in on action around the big leagues. The showstopper tonight has to belong to the Washington Nationals with the rain falling. 3 homers in a 4th inning, an 8-run 4th inning. Anthony Rendon 3 for 3. He's hit 2 homers. He's driven in 5. Bryce Harper hit number 14. Harper, Rendon, and Worth all homered in that 8-run 4th, and Washington has a 10-1 lead over the Mariners on a very Seattle-like day in D.C. Roof closed here on a rainy night in Milwaukee, and the Brewers find themselves down 4 here in the bottom of the 5th. Perez into left center, a base hit. Leadoff single for Hernan Perez.
That's an 0-1 pitch. Hits it hard out there in left field. And one of the few mistakes that he's made, that's that cut fastball that it seemed like it stayed right down the middle of the plate. Not a whole lot of movement on it, and Perez took advantage of it.
Well, Manny Pena now. Brewers could use a quick strike here. They've gotten themselves down early in games the last 2. Cubs scored 3 in the 1st inning on Sunday, and at one point led 13-1. Brewers did score 5 runs in the 9th.
The Brewers have shown a good ability to come back from, deficits, but 13-1 stretching a little bit. 4-0, something that they can handle.
Well, that 7-1 deficit against the Mets here, and that great comeback. Last time the Brewers at Miller Park, one of the great comebacks in this franchise history, especially here at Miller Park. Exciting finish. Bouncing ball up the middle and a base hit. Manny Pena with a single, back-to-back singles. 2 on, nobody out.
And we mentioned it, Biagini making his 4th start after working the bullpen. He's only gone 5 innings 1 time. His highest pitch count, 68 pitches. So maybe tiring a little bit. The Brewers able to get to him here in the 5th inning. Back-to-back base hits.
And that'll bring up Orlando Arcia. While the Brewers are down at the bottom of their order, Craig Counsell has Jesus Aguilar in the on-deck circle. So you can stack up some position players and some power if Arcia can keep it going. Rob Scahill starting to throw in the bullpen. Nelson's through 5. He's given up 4. Got to make a play for offense tonight.
That's a nice weapon to have coming off your bench. A guy like Aguilar that can take you out of the ballpark. Think about how many teams have that luxury these days. I mean, a bona fide power threat that you can use basically anytime you want. Of course, power threat off the bench.
1st and 2nd, nobody out. Arcia, the Brewers shortstop, got a big swing, got a hack. 1 and 2 now. Arcia is at his best when he's driving the ball to right. He's got some power to the opposite field.
Yep, all of his home runs have come to right field.
Biagini wants a set of new signs. Martin is an excellent game caller behind the plate. He has long been thought to be a pitcher's friend back there. He's in it with you the whole way. There's a shot up the middle. Base hit. Perez got a great jump. He's around third. He will score. 3 straight singles, and the Brewers in business. They get on the board for the first time as Orlando Arcia delivers an RBI single.
Yep, on a 1-2 count, a mistake by Biagini. Got too much of the plate. Yeah, once again, the cut fastball did not cut. Maybe toward the end of the line for Biagini. And Arcia doing the right thing, going right back through the middle, and Perez able to score. Brewers on the board.
Well, notice how the Brewers are doing it here in this inning as well. That fundamental approach at the plate. Everything up the middle.
That's been the story in the month of May. I mean, the home run totals have been down a bit. You didn't expect them to continue the home run pace they were on in April, but great counsel. Darnell Cole's very happy with the approach that they've been using. A lot of these guys going to right field and back through the middle.
So Pena now at second. Arcia at first. And here comes Jesus Aguilar, announced as a pinch hitter. Has a home run and 5 RBIs as a pinch hitter. 3 total homers for the year. He had 7 this spring. He was the best power hitter the Brewers had in spring training, and he earned a shot on the big league roster, and he's been a nice addition to this team.
Yeah, got off to a very fast start. Then there was a stretch that he wasn't able to get many hits. He was striking out a lot, but then he snapped out of that. And now he's been very productive again.
Getting on base. A lot of extra base hits. Got an OPS of 916 coming into play tonight. And he's able to lay off 2-0 the count. This is a guy that hit 30 bombs in AAA last year. He's not going to get the regular playing time that he did at AAA with the Indians last season. He'll take the sporadic playing time in the big leagues rather than the everyday job in AAA.
Those are pretty good numbers of runners in scoring position, almost 400.
He's got Pena out there right now in scoring position. And he takes a strike.
Yeah, good pitch to lay off. Pitch on the corner.
Jesus Aguilar. Big spot for him in the 5th. Closes the book on Jimmy Nelson. Activity in the Blue Jay bullpen. Aguilar out in front. 2-2 now. Jays have Danny Barnes up. Rob Scahill throwing for the Brewers. Well, if Aguilar reaches, you might see Gibbons make a move. Not wanting to let this game get away. The Brewers can put some serious pressure on the Blue Jay skipper right here.
Yeah. And Barnes just got up.
Tying run at the plate.
They've been throwing all that long.
2-2 to Aguilar. 2 on. And he got jammed. A slow roller. Goins coming in. Only play is first. And he makes the play. Nicely done.
That's a beauty right there. Wow. And bare hand going toward third base and able to make a nice flip. Kind of an underarm hand flip to first base. That's that submarine style right there. Right on the money. Got his man at first base. That's a nice play.
Goins is an excellent defender no matter where you put him.
But Aguilar able to advance 2 base runners.
Doesn't get credit for a sacrifice, but it works just like one. Back to the top of the order now. Jonathan Villar, who is 0 for 2. Base hit, should score 2. Arcia's got a big lead at second. And a first pitch bender in there for a strike. Brewers have a run in. First 3 batters reached on singles. 2 on, 1 out. VR lays off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch count's important tonight, specifically for Biagini, because he's going to be capped at around 80 to 85, so he's getting near the end. VR pulls one through, base hit. Pena's in. Arcia around third. He will score. Jonathan VR drives in a pair, and the Brewers are right back in it. 4-3 Toronto.
Nice job by VR to wait back on that curveball that time. And the Brewers with a 3 spot. Right back in this one. And bottom of the order getting it done. Outstanding work by the bottom of the order for the Brewers. There's that curveball up. That's the first sign of fatigue when you start leaving pitches up in the zone. And Biagini having a difficult time here in the 5th.
Big inning for the Crew. The 4th hit of the inning. All singles. And now Thames will step in, representing the go-ahead run.
Well, they're sticking with him out there.
At the plate presented by Wendy's. Thames singled his first time up. That was a single up the middle. Man on, 1 away. Braun due next. VR takes off. Thames lets him run. Throw to second is late. VR is in with a stolen base. Number 10 for Jonathan VR.
They got a great jump. Not a easy pitch to throw on for Russell Martin, down and away with a fastball. No contest.
And Martin sent to the mound to buy the reliever a little bit of time here. Maybe go through the signs with a runner at second. Although looking out at,
hey, he's ready.
Yeah, Danny Barnes looks like he's good to go.
Biagini out there in the mound just looks like he's a little bit fatigued.
Just his 4th start.
Highest pitch count that he's got to so far this year, 74.
Big spot for Eric Thames against his old club, the Blue Jays. Team that brought him to the big leagues. Thames has a ton of fans in Toronto still. He didn't have put up the kind of numbers, have the kind of stay in Toronto that he had hoped. He was a big prospect for the Blue Jays, but you talk to those who were here, broadcasters, those in the front office. They love Thames, love his personality, always rooting for him. Glad to see his success. And Thames would be the first to admit he wasn't the same kind of player coming up and when he got a chance for the Blue Jays. All that changed when he went to Korea for 3 years.
Learned how to be disciplined at the plate, and it has paid off.
He went internal, went with the visualization, the mental game of baseball to try to improve. Tying run at second. Thames takes ball 4, and Biagini looks like he's done.
Yeah.
Walked him on 4 straight. John Gibbons maybe let it ride 2 batters too long. And the Brewers have it cooking here with 2 on. Ryan Braun coming up, and Biagini on his way out. Well, he just slammed against the wall entering this 5th inning.
Yeah, but you got to tip your hat to the bottom of the Brewers order, getting it done, setting the table.
So we will take a timeout. Biagini takes the stride to the dugout. We'll set up the new pitcher when we continue. All on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Rainy Tuesday outside Miller Park. Biagini is out. The Blue Jays starter giving up, at this point, 3 runs on 5 hits. 4 of those hits coming in this inning in a 4-batter span. And Biagini gives way to Danny Barnes. Rock 1 out here in the 5th, and the Brewers have 3 in.
Yeah, 3-4 coming up. And Barnes is a sinker slider guy. 13 games and a really good 270 earned run average. Barnes spent some time with the Blue Jays last year. 12 games.
Tying run at second base. Yeah, Thames at second. Check it. VR at second. Thames at first. Brewers have good speed on the bags. Braun drew a walk his last time up. Ryan in his first game back in Chicago was 0 for 5 after a trip to the disabled list with a strained calf. Runners go. Braun takes, throw to third, and VR is safe. Close play at third base. VR just got a hand in there. A double steal with Braun at the plate is always risky. But now the Brewers have him at second and third.
Yeah, you'd like it to be a little bit easier stolen base than that with Braun up there. Pretty good throw by Martin, but a little bit late. VR able to get the hand in there. You see him sliding to the outfield side of the base, making a tag a little bit longer. You see him barely able to get in there, but now second and third and 1 out.
What a great call at third as well by the umpire Mike McClinsky. That is a bang bang play. They had no review necessary. He was right on it. And VR just got a finger in there. So now a base open at first. We'll see if Barnes will go after Braun here. He's already behind in the count 2-0. Travis Shaw due next. Now the go ahead run in scoring position. It looked like a little off speed number in there for a strike.
Yeah, looked like a curve ball, and Ryan Braun looking around said, I didn't even know he threw that.
What was that?
He does have a curve ball. He doesn't use it all that much. But in this situation with first base open 2-0, why not?
Like a changeup there. Braun out in front. So he's gone to the less is more theory down in the count.
And the theory there is if he walks him, so be it. He sets up the double play. Toronto turns a lot of double plays, second most in the American League.
Tying run at third. Brewers have 3 in. Braun takes one inside. That was close. Good take though. There's a big difference going from 78 miles an hour to 91. That got on Braun quickly.
In on your hands.
That's the pitch range. That changeup at 78. Been as fast as 92. Full count here to Braun. And Ryan strikes out. Went up the ladder with a fastball, and Braun is out.
Yep, got him to chase. That's a big out for Toronto. Second and third, 1 out. They get the punch out at 92 miles an hour. Braun's showing a little sign of rust after missing 10 days.
You don't see Braun chase like that very often. It's good pitching though by Barnes. Moved it around, changed speeds, and they got Braun in swing mode, and that is a big out for Barnes. Now it'll be up to Travis Shaw with 2 away. Second and third. VR's got a huge lead, and Shaw takes a strike.
Another guy that's driven in a number of runs with 2 outs. Very adept at using the opposite field.
See how far Bautista is off the bag. He's trying to cover that hole against Shaw, so VR taking liberties at third base. And Shaw leans out, fouls one away, and it's 0-2. Well, the Brewers would certainly be satisfied with a 3-run inning, but considering you had second and third and 1 out and Braun at the plate, you can bet they are eager to be greedy right now. A base hit could give the Brewers the lead. 0-2 pitch, and down goes Shaw. 2 strikeouts for Barnes. Big league relief work there by Danny Barnes. The Brewers strand a pair, but the Brew Crew coming up with 3, and they're right back in it. A string of singles for Milwaukee. 3 runs on 4 hits. 4-3 Blue Jays after 5.
Motorcycle courtesy of U.S. Cellular, giving all fans at Miller Park this Sunday against the Diamondbacks. Get your tickets today at Brewers.com.
You know, the Diamondbacks coming to town playing very well. Second in the West behind the Colorado Rockies. It'll be a 4-game series with Arizona. Rob Scahill is in, former Pirate. 7th appearance of the year.
He got called up on May 1st, was having a good time of it down in AAA. Pitched on Sunday against the Cubs, gave up a couple of runs in 2 innings of work. And you see his numbers overall after really having a very tough first appearance against the Pirates. He's rebounded nicely.
Facing Russell Martin, his former Pirate teammate. Martin singled his first time up, scored a run. Blue Jays got 2 in the second, added 2 in the 5th on a Morales 2-run homer. Brewers just scored 3, and it's a 4-3 game. Up and in on Martin. 1-1 the count. Don't forget, tomorrow's an early start, a 12:10 first pitch on a Wednesday afternoon. Hope you'll make plans to be with us. Still tickets available. We'd love to have you here at the ballpark. We'll have it for you on Fox Sports Wisconsin. That hit Martin, grazed him, and a hit by pitch will put a runner at first.
Yeah, Scahill obviously trying to work Martin inside, just wasn't able to find, the plate. See that pitch coming up and in, just grazed the sleeve on his arm right there. That's not going to hurt.
Lead runner on. Chris Coughlin will hit. Jimmy Nelson goes 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, all earned. Right now on the hook for the loss. Nelson had 3 punch outs.
Jimmy started out a little shaky just with his command, but then turned things around until that home run in the 5th.
2-0 on Coughlin. John Gibbons has had to be creative with his lineup without Josh Donaldson, MVP from 2 years ago, and then Troy Tulowitzki out as well. Sunday in Baltimore, having lost the first 2 games of that series, Gibbons put Russell Martin at third base. Tonight he's got Jose Bautista. He's trying to put bats in the lineup and
just shake it up a little bit too. Put guys in unfamiliar spots. Maybe turn things around a little bit. I mean, he's not the first manager to do that, but well, it works Sunday, and it's awfully difficult to be missing 2 guys like Donaldson and Tulowitzki. Russell Martin was out for a while. You talk about their pitching, and it's awfully difficult to compete, especially in that division.
American League East tough once again, and the Yankees are atop the American League East, 10 games over 500. Ground ball, gobbled up Thames, fired to second, out there, Arcia to first in time. A double play, goes 3-6-3.
Yeah, he's slick around first base. He really is. He's got good hands and a very good accurate arm on that throw to second base. And he gets back for the double play. If he can get a glove on it, he's going to make a play. And a good quick feet to get himself in position to throw, and that's an easy double play for Scahill.
So Scahill with 2 outs, nobody on, and the 8th place hitter Ryan Goins, who is 2 for 2 tonight, including an RBI single in the 2nd inning.
It looks like John Gibbons wants another inning out of Barnes. He's got his relief pitcher in the on deck circle. So be careful here.
Force his hand, maybe. Not that you want to put a man on, but make your pitch. I'd be curious to see if Gibbons would do that. That's a ground ball, a hot one, but right at VR. He's got it, and that's a good inning for Scahill. After a hit batter to start the inning, got a double play and a ground out, and we go to the home 6th.
Brought to you by T-Mobile, a pair of players earning Player of the Week honors in baseball. Victor Martinez for the Tigers in the American League, a .389 average, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs for him. Not bad for 6 games. And Jake Lamb for the Diamondbacks, the National League Player of the Week. He had an average .412, 7 hits for him on the week with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. And we'll see Jake Lamb and the Diamondbacks coming up on Thursday over the weekend.
That is a very good ball club there in Arizona this year. Paul Goldschmidt, of course, is still their ringleader. Looking forward to that series. Brewers will get back to a National League opponent on Thursday. 2 with the Blue Jays, however, to start it. Here's Domingo Santana. Danny Barnes returns. If the Blue Jays hang on to win this game, you can circle the 2 at-bats for Danny Barnes in the 5th inning, striking out Braun and Shaw with runners at 2nd and 3rd.
And getting both of them on high fastballs.
2-0 to Santana. That one's in there. It's always a pleasure to watch Russell Martin handle himself behind the plate. Just watch how he catches borderline pitches. There's an art to that.
The art is to make them look good without moving your body or your arm. It's all about the wrist, that gold glove on the chest protector, the gold patch, I should say.
And a called strike 3. Martin stuck the landing on that one, and Danny Barnes has 3 consecutive strikeouts.
Yeah, kickoff festival season like a true Milwaukeean at the Brewers Big Gig Tailgate this Thursday, presented by Miller Lite. Enjoy a pregame tailgate featuring local band Chase and Mason. Watch the Brewers take on the Diamondbacks and even get a free Summerfest ticket. Go to brewers.com/theme nights.
1 away. Here is Hernan Perez. Singled and scored last inning. Hit a soft liner for an out to short in the 2nd. Perez sends one high in the air left center, and Pilar is there for out number 2.
Yeah, the art of framing is still an important thing in baseball, but not as important as it used to be, because you can't steal strikes, like you did in the old days. I mean, these umpires are graded on their strike zones. It shouldn't matter how a catcher catches a pitch. That's part of the art that I think is not as important as it used to be, but there are times when it helps. I had a chat with Mike Matheny about that when we were in St. Louis, and he was saying about how these the technology grading these umpires has affected all that. The art of catching pitches behind home plate.
That was a fun part of the game, right? I mean, you enjoyed being able to impact balls and strikes with how you caught it, and you can't do it on a clear ball.
Right.
That's the most important thing. You got to make the real borderline pitches that could go either way. You got to make sure those look like strikes.
Always, catch the baseball and have it go toward home plate. Like a pitch down, you do it with the fingers down. Pitch up, fingers up, and the catcher's mitt. Always trying to cradle home plate when you're catching a pitch.
Pena sends one to right field, slicing deep in the corner it goes, and it slices foul. Just a little flick of the wrist there by Manny Pena. Sends it deep into right.
He could do. We get into the archives and dig out some of those old instructionals. I know I did that about 8 or 9 times.
Or maybe we'll just have you strap the gear on and go do one.
Yeah, good idea, BA. Always good to have you back.
You still have that glove with the orange padding on the around the edge?
Yeah, it's at home.
Whatever happened to those gloves? I like those. Had the blaze orange padding.
Pitcher said they liked it. See the target really nice in a night game.
Just seems like a great visual. Throw it here.
Remember the Big Wheel used to use those.
Oh yeah.
Lance Parrish, the blaze orange, the bright orange with the black glove.
The Big Wheel. You and Lance Parrish were the catching core in it with the Angels, man. That's like the biggest 2 catchers in baseball history. That's a shot, but it's caught and then dropped by Bautista. Recovers, and a strong arm throws out Pena, and a 3-up 3-down inning. Danny Barnes impressive out of the bullpen. Bautista's played well at third base in his first start in 4 years.
To the 7th, our minor league report. Seems like we talk about him every night. First baseman Jake Gatewood for the Carolina Mudcats last night went 3 for 4, a home run, and a career-high 6 RBI night. This is following up a 23-game hitting streak. Gatewood just continues to swing a hot bat for the Mudcats. He's leading the Carolina League in doubles, extra base hits, and among leaders in runs, second in the league, total bases, hits, slugging percentage, and average. He is in the top 5 as well. So Gatewood having a great season in high A.
Name to watch. I remember when he was drafted. There's a lot of talk about Gatewood, his upside. Brewers love his talent.
Having a terrific year.
Got a pinch hitter here, Rock, to start it. Anthony Alford, who has just arrived to the big leagues.
All the way up from Double-A.
22-year-old. Former college football quarterback.
Quite the star. Mississippi State. I should say University of Mississippi. I was talking to Buck Martinez, their television announcer over there, former Brewer, about Alford. He said the kid's quite the athlete, can run.
Gives him a little different speed look, and he sends one into center field pretty deep. Perez looks up, and that's off the wall. And Alford is into second base with his first major league hit. It's a double in Milwaukee. He's trying to check that smile, but
yeah, why?
He knows that's a big moment. They'll save the baseball, and that'll be on the mantle forever.
Yep, 33 games in Double-A. The Fisher Cats this year at .325 average, and puts a nice swing on that pitch, a fastball from Scahill. And he drives it out there into center field, a clean double off the base of the fence in center.
He's at second to start the inning. Now Kevin Pillar back to the top of the order. Pillar is 1 for 3 tonight. Singled his first time up. Pillar gives you a full tape deck of highlight plays. This guy's made some of the great catches over the last few years in the big leagues. Bouncing ball. Alford's on his way to third. Only play is first for Arcia. There's a glimpse at the speed of Alford. Man, he was flying to third base.
Kind of risky business going to third base on that, but you're right, he can fly. It's all about instincts here. I mean, no help by the coach. A high chopper, and he knew right away he could make it into third base. And then Pillar able to advance him.
It's a big run over there. Scahill trying to strand him in the 7th inning. Brewers are down 4-3. Blue Jays had a 4-0 lead until Milwaukee scored 3 in the 5th. Ezekiel Carrera with the infield in and a high pop up. VR running back into the grass, runs to the spot, makes a catch, and Alford will hold his ground. Out number 2.
And now the trouble begins. And Pena's setting up inside, and Scahill put it right there off the inside corner and got his man on one pitch.
Now with Bautista coming up, it's late May. I think Craig Counsell wants to see this matchup here. There are a lot of managers that would put him on.
Man, you got Morales on deck. He's no day at the beach.
Scahill's going to go after him. Got to watch that first pitch. That one's in the dirt. Nice block by Pena.
And maybe see if he'll chase.
If you're wondering, Brewer pitchers have intentionally walked 11. Those numbers are typically higher for National League teams. They're always walking an 8th place hitter in front of a pitcher with runners in scoring position. So Even though they have 11, Counsell does not like to do it. That's another breaking ball in the dirt, and Pena has saved 2 runs with these 2 plays. That one was even further outside. Slider in the dirt. Textbook.
Yeah, second good play, and I guess if you're not going to pitch to him, why risk the wild pitch?
Two outs, runner at third. Boy, he was ready to hack, and he chased a slider for a strike.
Yeah, looking for a bat flip on that swing. Yeah, the slider, this one gets the plate up, and Batista just pulled off it.
It's an angry swing. 2-1 now. Down and in, misses. Check the swing. Morales due next. Hit a 2-run home run in the 5th. Runner at third, 2 away. Bautista with 2 hits tonight. Scored a run. And nothing but breaking balls, and Bautista draws the walk. So he chased 1 of the 5 offerings, but he wouldn't bite on the others.
That was the only pitch that was even close to home plate. And now you got a couple of men on with Morales coming up.
And Counsell is going to go for a more favorable matchup. Carlos Torres is ready to come in. So Counsell will take the ball. We have a pitching change with 2 outs. 2 runners on for the Blue Jays in the 7th. We'll set up Torres when we continue. And he exits with 2 on and 2 out. And it'll be Carlos Torres for the Brewers.
And picked up a save on Friday. Yeah, tossed a scoreless 9th inning. And has been unscored upon in his last 7 appearances. First and third, 2 outs. Kendrys Morales coming up. You can see the numbers for Carlos Torres. 24th appearance and a really good .292 earned run average.
5th inning, big hit in the game. Morales up there with 2 outs and a man on. And he launched one against Jimmy Nelson. Off the batter's eye in center field. Home run number 8. 25 RBIs now for Morales. 1 out of 3 tonight. Big hitter in the game. Brewers trying to get to the dugout, down a run. Looking ahead to the 7th inning for the Brewers. Arcia will lead it off. And then you have the pitcher spot and then VR. And Torres puts one in on his hands for a strike.
That cut fastball, the 4-seamer, and the curveball. And the pitch that Morales hit out was a fastball out away from him. Outer half.
Bautista takes off, swing and a miss. Brewers content to let Bautista run. The position players didn't even bother to move, trying to cover the holes. That'll be a steal for Bautista. That's his 3rd of the year. Alford still at third base. The rookie with his first major league hit had a pinch hit double to start this inning. 2nd and 3rd now. 0-2 pitch way inside, almost hit it.
I'll tell you, Alford's getting a huge lead down the line at 3rd. If anything pops away from Pena just a little bit, he might think about it. Travis Shaw is playing shortstop over there.
And Alford is halfway down the line between 3rd and home. And a broken bat, little flare. Braun is coming in, calls him off. He's got it for the out, and Torres gets through the inning. That's a big one there. 4-3 Blue Jays. We go to the home 7th, stretch time. Remind you that in support of Mental Health Month this May, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with the NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, and their commitment to replacing stigma with hope and improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. Learn more about how to be stigma-free and visit foxsportsupports.com. Changes for the Blue Jays. Alford will stay in after a pinch hit appearance. He'll remain in the game in right. Carrera is out, and Ryan Tepera is the new pitcher for the Blue Jays out of their bullpen.
That bullpen hadn't been too bad, around the middle of the pack in the American League as far as earned run average for relievers. And 20th game, 304 earned run average, just about as many strikeouts as innings pitched, which is good. Has allowed only the 1 home run so far this year.
Terrific job by Danny Barnes. 5 in a row retired, including 3 strikeouts when it looked like the Brewers might push ahead. Here's Arcia, takes a fastball inside. Arcia was a part of that 3-run inning. Singled and scored. He drove in a run as well. That was a base hit to center. Ball 1 strike on the Brewers shortstop. 22-year-old Orlando Arcia. Guys on the Brewers Live pregame show, Craig and Davey making a good point about Arcia and the fact, you know, it feels like he's been here a long time, but he has the entirety of 4 months in the major leagues under his belt, right?
And he is as good as it gets at shortstop. He will learn how to hit. He'll be more consistent as his career goes on. He's not the first young shortstop to come up that has been the case.
Did he go? He did, and it's picked by Martin. And a strikeout for Tepera to start this 7th inning.
And Marty Forster called that by himself behind home plate. There's a slider from Tepera, and hard to tell on that angle, but it doesn't matter. There it is. It could have gone either way.
Good pick back there by Martin. Pinch hitter coming for Milwaukee. 9th spot in the order. Nick Franklin will hit. Switch hitter. Most of his at-bats coming from the left side. Franklin, a natural right-handed hitter. Started switch hitting in middle school. He was telling Todd Rosiak of the Journal Sentinel there were so few left-handed pitchers in high school that most of his at-bats, full seasons of at-bats, came against right-handed pitchers, meaning batting left-handed.
He's only had 9 at-bats as a right-handed hitter. He's 0 for 9.
Kind of take for granted the maintenance it requires to be a switch hitter and not play every day. You got to make sure you get your swings from both sides.
They do a lot of that, you know, in the cage well before batting practice. You only get a certain amount of at-bat or swings in BP.
1-2 the count. Franklin swings and misses. Down he goes.
I tell you, this bullpen and racking up the punch outs. Hey, tonight's Tower of the Game winner, Sylvia's in Polonia in Custer. That's just south of Stevens Point, if you didn't know where Custer was.
Everybody knows that, Rock.
Yeah, if they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. It's all for courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
General Custer?
That's what it's named after. Yep. That's what I've been told anyway.
Makes sense.
George Custer.
Top of the order here, VR. We're talking about the Blue Jays relievers and the strikeouts. So Toronto relief pitching has faced 7 batters, 5 punch-outs. 7 up, 7 down.
Most of them coming on high fastballs. Garcia struck out on a slider.
Ryan Tepera, 3rd pitcher used tonight. Brewers trying to get something going here with 2 outs. Blue Jays have a lockdown closer in Roberto Osuna. You don't want to have to deal with him down a run. That's why that 5th inning was so important, to try to take a lead. Sitting there with runners at 2nd and 3rd with Braun and Shaw coming up. Back-to-back Ks for those 2. And the Brewers scored 3 but could not push across that 4th run. 3-1. Down and in. Ball 4.
You know, base runner. And you got the Thunder coming up.
Eric Dames will step in with a man on and 2 outs. Braun due next. You know he'd love another shot. Thames just missed a home run in the 4th inning. Flew out to deep left, hit it off the end of the bat. Has a single tonight. He's walked. Had his 2nd stolen base of the season. Part of a double steal with VR. Well, we'll see if VR's on the move. Oh, Thames letting the shaft out.
Looking fastball. They gave him the cook. There it is. Breaking ball way out in front over the top of it. You think he was selling out for a fastball?
Trying to hit one into the deck. No balls and a strike. Check on VR. Got a big lead, and he is just back. Man, that was close. VR took a break towards second base. He barely got back. Oof. Yep. We'll try another one over there. Another close play. I don't know if Counsell is willing to use that red light stop sign here, but with Ames at the plate, he might. Another throw to first. If nothing else, Tepera's taken a little starch out of the legs of Jonathan VR. National League stolen base leader last year. Martin is a very good thrower. There goes VR. Thames swings. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base. Perfect throw by Russell Martin, but VR beats it to the bag. And his third stolen base of the game.
Look at the size of that lead after almost getting picked off a couple of times. Martin's throw right on the money, but just a little bit late. The Blue Jays are taking a look at it, but that's pretty cut and dried. He's safe.
DeMarlo Hale says he's safe, and Gibbons says play on. 12 bags on the year now for BR, 3 on the night, and now the tying run in scoring position. But Thames is up there in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, a couple of breaking pitches.
Big spot. Went right back to it. This time Thames lays off.
This is where, you know, a guy like Thames, I mean, he'll take a couple of mighty hacks, but then with 2 strikes, you get right back into that approach. Be a little bit more patient. But now a base hit ties it up. Doesn't need the extra base hit.
1-2 the count. Everything's been down and in to Thames. Martin setting up in there again. No, wants it upstairs, inside for a ball. Measured breathing. Thames trying to visualize something special here. 2-2. Hit him. Had him 0-2. And then drills him on a 2-2 pitch, and that's going to bring Ryan Braun to the plate with 2 men aboard.
Yeah, went right back to the breaking pitch, but this time getting a piece of Thames. He got ahead of him 0-2 with curveballs. More of a slider that time, right below the knee on the left leg. Right leg.
Not the kind of back foot slider he was hoping for.
No.
Well, that could be a game changer here. Now Braun steps in. Martin has a chat with Tepera. And Ryan Braun, a chance at redemption here in this inning. That's what you love about baseball. It'll give you chances.
They do the double steal again. They did it last time Ryan was up.
That was a bang play at third base.
Yes, it was.
A lot of sliders from Tepera. Tying run at second base. Go ahead, run at first. And Braun takes a ball low. 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Tepera. Brewers have a couple of hits with runners in scoring position. Arcia and VR both coming in the 5th inning. VR drove in 2 in the 5th inning. Those are the 2 hits. Part of a 3-run 5th. VR with a big lead, and Braun chases a slider in the dirt.
Got a lot of break to it, that slider. You see the dot coming in and off the outside corner.
Only the second game back from the DL for Braun. Braun is hitless since returning to the lineup. 0 for 7 now. He did walk in the 4th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Braun sends it in the air, right field. Alford is there, and that will retire the side. Braun strands 2 more. Inning over. Brewers threaten but fail to score, and still a 1-run lead for Toronto.
Blue Jays up by a run. Hey, RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play action packed with all of your favorite MLB teams, players, and ballparks. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com.
So it'll be Neftali Feliz for Milwaukee. In battle closer, trying to work his way back to form, and he'll get the 8th inning, trying to keep it at 4-3.
And pitch an inning on Sunday. Craig Counts is just trying to get him an opportunity to start feeling good out there on the mound again. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, a couple of strikeouts on Sunday against the Cubs in Wrigley Field.
Devin Travis leads off, and strike 1 to the Blue Jays second baseman, who's 1 for 3 tonight. A hot hitter lately. Feliz in save situations has only blown 1. He's 8 of 9, but it's in the non-save situations that cost him his job as closer.
Yeah, late in games in a tie game has been a problem for him. Inconsistent throwing strikes, and one of the problems that he had walking that leadoff hitter. Can't do that late in the game.
Hitters start eliminating pitches quickly when you have trouble throwing a specific pitch for a strike.
Don't even think about it. Just look for the other one.
If you're Feliz, that basically boils down to a fastball. And that's a fastball that misses. Good velocity at 98, but the count goes to 3-2 on Travis.
Yeah, but again, if you're not throwing that other stuff, these guys are going to be able to get to 98.
Full count. Popped him up. Santana's under it, and Travis is retired. 1 away, 8th inning. All right, Rock, how about we take a look at the catching work of Manny Pena in our Jimmy John's delivery of the game.
It's just another day at the office for Manny Pena. You know, that catching combination has been terrific. Pena and Bandy. They are solid defensively. Pena quick as a cat getting it out here. Biagini on a little check swing. And both he and Bandy have been terrific blocking pitches, keeping runners where they're at.
Swing and a miss from Russell Martin.
It has been a lot of fun to watch both Bandy and Pena throughout the season so far. And the way Counsell's using them, you figure they're going to be able to stay strong most of the year.
Then 2 now on Martin. Toronto's $20 million per year catcher, Russell Martin. Pretty good work. Canadian. And ownership of the Blue Jays, making sure he stays in his home country. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2-2 now.
Doesn't make Bryce Harper's deal that ridiculous, does it?
Man, what's that guy gonna get? He's gonna break the bank. Not really.
Well, the one he just signed, I'm talking about.
Yeah, right.
It's not that much more than Martin.
Hot shot. Arcia gloves. Sets his feet in time. Makes it look easy out there.
Yeah, he's something.
Kind of the Mike Cameron version of shortstops. Because he does make it look so easy, you don't rave about him so much. But man, this is.
He has learned how to position himself and play hitters and move himself around based on the count, based on outs. I mean, he's 22 years old.
You look at that play right there and you say, wow, he got a nice easy hop. But he put himself in a position to get the easy hop. And much like a hitter's got to make a decision on a fastball, that's a really well hit ball, and he's making quick decisions on whether to step in, to step back, go straight across.
He can lay back because of his arm strength.
Right off the end of the bat, high pop up. Pena watch it come down the pipe, and that's it. Phillies with a 3-up, 3-down 8th. That's a boost for him. Scoreless inning. Brewers down a run. We go to the home 8th.
Four bases, so they've done the most they can to push the limits, get into scoring position, but they haven't been able to cash in all the way yet, but the 4 stolen bases, I know you love that, and VR's got 3 that ties a career high.
That's right, and the thing about with VR, you know, he can make some things happen. What he did, though, he stole those bases, put the Brewers in position to score some easy runs, but unfortunately, the big boys couldn't get him in.
Now 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position right now for Milwaukee. They've got 6 outs left here. It's a 1-run game. Of course, we'll recap this one here from Craig Counsell and talk about how this one's going to unfold here and get you set for game 2 of the series coming up right away tomorrow afternoon. Brewers Live postgame presented by Ascension. BA.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig. Changes defensively. Alford will move over to left field for the Blue Jays. That's because Bautista goes from third to right. Darwin Barney enters the game at third base. And the new pitcher is the ground ball specialist, Joe Smith, first-year Blue Jay.
Yeah, we saw him with the Cubs for a little bit last year. Cubs 16 games with Chicago. He was also with the Angels last year.
Blue Jays with the lead, put their best available defensive unit out there. Travis Shaw leads off, 4-3 Toronto. Shaw gets jammed and fouls one into the seats. Smith, most of his career with the Angels, had some time with the Indians, was at his best as a member of the Angels. But his numbers here in Toronto, signed a free agent deal with the Blue Jays. He's been good.
A lot of strikeouts, 31 in 21 innings. Tough on right-handed hitters with that sidearm action.
1-1 pitch. Shaw takes a strike. Travis, a low ball hitter. And Martin wants it upstairs, and Joe Smith delivers it right there. Shaw fouls it away.
Yep, 89 miles an hour. They still like to elevate that fastball.
Blue Jays bullpen has been a big story tonight. They have kept the Brewers down. Shaw chases one. Travis Shaw, who rarely strikes out, has struck out 4 times tonight.
Yep, and each time it has basically been with pitches out of the strike zone. He was called out on strikes back in the 4th and chasing another pitch out of the zone.
So 1 away. Here is Domingo Santana. Another low ball hitter for the Brewers. We'll see if Smith continues to elevate. A strike. That's a perfect example of Russell Martin making sure that was called a strike right on the edge.
Catching the outside corner.
Sets up inside. Made that one look pretty good too. This is the first offering.
Kind of reaching across home plate, but still able to get the strike call.
Strike 2.
The art of receiving. Move as little as you can. Watch the body. Doesn't move. It's just the arm, the elbow and down does all the work.
That was in the same spot as the second pitch, which was a ball. And Smith strikes out Santana. Well, the Brewers are coming up empty against Joe Smith.
And Biagini, 4 1/3, only had 2 punch-outs. Bullpen has come in and slammed the door with the big strikeout numbers. Bullpen's got 7.
Seven out of 12 batters faced have gone down via the K against this Toronto bullpen. 2 quick outs. And here's Hernan Perez now, who's 1 for 3. He's on top of one, fouls it away. Perez got the rally started in the 5th. Had a single to lead off the inning. 3 straight hits. Brewers had 4 hits and a walk and a ground ball to short. And Joe Smith cuts down the Brewers in order in the 8th. 3 up, 3 down with 2 strikeouts. We go to the 9th. Blue Jays coming up. Interleague baseball tonight. The Brewers and the Blue Jays. We go to the 9th inning. 4-3 Toronto. Scoring twice in the 2nd. Then got a 2-run homer from Morales in the 5th. And the Brewers scored all 3 of their runs in the bottom of the 5th. RBIs from VR and Arcia. Feliz is going to stay out there for another inning. After a 3 up, 3 down 8th. Neftali will get going here to start the 9th. Pinch hitter coming next, or rather Alford coming next. Goins skies one, tough play, but Arcia calls it and catches it for out number 1. Well, don't forget, tomorrow is the conclusion of the series. It's a quick 2-gamer, and it is a day game business person special. Miller Lite, what's on tap? We're on the air at 11:30. First pitch at 12:10 p.m. Marcus Stroman and Matt Garza.
Yeah, Garza's been throwing the baseball very well. The Brewers beat Stroman in Toronto.
Stroman's one of the more entertaining pitchers to watch. He's a good hitter too, and you know he's excited to get a few at-bats tomorrow against the Brewers in this National League setting.
Yeah, Brewers beat him 2-0.
The Stro Show will be at Miller Park tomorrow. Garza's been pitching well as well. Anthony Alford, his 2nd at bat. He doubled his first time up, which was his first career major league hit. He got a start on Sunday. Changed his batting stance, and it has made a huge difference. Blue Jays are calling him the most improved player in their entire organization. He went the opposite route of Keon Broxton. He used to have his hands low like Broxton. The change was to keep his hands high.
Get your hands right at the top of the strike zone. A lot of times when guys do that, they've been chasing pitches up.
Isn't it amazing that you have 2 hitters, 2 very good athletes, Keon Broxton and Anthony Alford, and they do opposite things that helps them get to the big leagues and have success.
And we'll see if it helps Alford. It certainly helped Broxton. I mean, he has started to put together some pretty good streaks in the big leagues. Alford has yet to do that.
And a swing and a miss. Feliz strikes him out. Good fastball there from Neftali Feliz. He's retired 5 in a row.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the fastball. Never has been. Yeah, this year for the Brewers, I mean, Biggs 97, 98. He topped 100 in Toronto. It's the other stuff.
2 outs. Looking ahead to the Brewer 9th. Manny Pena is scheduled to lead off, then Arcia, and then a pinch hitter. You got Sogard still available, Broxton, and Bandy. Brewers carrying a 5-man bench right now, so some options depending on the situation for Craig Counsell.
Yeah, not sure how long that 5-man bench is going to last. Got a move coming up. Bring Junior Guerra back.
Guerra, the opening day starter, will return Friday, as Sophia reported. There's Junior back from a rehab start. Had a good rehab start, accomplished what he wanted. 91 pitches, I think it was, so he'll be back in line Friday. Was injured in his opening day start against Colorado. Haven't seen him since. Calf strain. So yeah, the Brewers will have to make a move. 1-2 to Pilar. Feliz trying to make it 6 up, 6 down. Pilar hangs in there. One and two the count. Feliz delivers, and he got him a strikeout to end the inning. Great outing by Feliz. Pena leads off. Arcia to follow. Pinch hitter after that. One of the best closers in the AL, the young Roberto Osuna, on his way in for Toronto. Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. And here we go to the 9th inning. Last call for the Brewers. Down a run to Toronto and facing the Blue Jay closer Roberto Osuna. Last time the Brewers played here at Miller Park, a memorable Mother's Day for Manny Pena. One of the great comebacks in this ballpark. And Pena, he knew it when he hit it.
Up, down by a run. A 3-run homer.
Unfortunately, you can't use the pink bat other than on Mother's Day, but I'm sure he'd love to break it out.
Yep.
So there is Osuna, 6 out of 9 in save chances this year, partner.
Yeah, you see the strikeouts, 18 punch outs, 16 in the third. You got to lay off the curveball. He's got a good fastball. He's only walked 1. I mean, he's got good command.
And Pena takes a strike.
Not a hard thrower, but hitters have a difficult time laying off the breaking pitches out of the strike zone with this guy.
Justin Smoke takes over at first base for Morales. Brewers down a single run here in the 9th, and Pena fouls it back. 95-mile-an-hour heat. When Osuna's right, he's as good as it gets. Great command, and he gets a ton of swings and misses, especially with that breaking ball. 0-2 to Pena. On the ground to short. Goins for out number 1. Here comes Arcia. You don't see many young players like Osuna get the closer role this early in his career. He took over that role at 21 years of age last year.
First 2 years, 56 saves at 36 last year.
Came back from Tommy John surgery. That was 4 seasons ago. He signed as a 16-year-old. He's emerged as one of the great young arms in the game. Brewers trying to find a mistake or two. Big swing by Arcia. Changeup by Osuna. Oh, 0-2 to Arcia. Able to lay off.
That's the pitch you have to lay off of right there. He likes to get you to chase that one off the corner.
They keep a stat called chase rate. And hitters against Osuna have chased 51.5% of his breaking balls out of the zone. That is number 1 among relief pitchers in the big leagues.
Which gives you the sense that he disguises that breaking pitch very well. Hitters don't pick it up.
League average, just by comparison, is 32%. He's getting over 51%. Swings and misses. 1-2 pitch into center field. Pilar coming in, and he's got it for the out. 2 gone in this inning.
Got away with a mistake right there. That pitch not high enough. Martin wanted it up. We've seen him do that a lot tonight.
Well, 3 available on the bench. Craig Counsell is going to land on Eric Sogard here as the last hope for the Brewers. This has been a terrific bullpen performance by the Blue Jays. Brewers were knocking on the door in the 5th. They had scored 3. They had 2 on with 1 out. Braun at the plate. Danny Barnes struck out Braun and Shaw.
Brewers haven't had a hit since.
Barnes to Pera to Joe Smith, and now Osuna. Two 2-0 to Sogard.
This guy's seeing it really well. That's an understatement. He's got a couple of home runs. Ordinarily, when you see Sogard walk to the plate, you're thinking not the long ball, but he's hit 2, and both of his home runs have been really hit well.
He's played in 8 games. He has 11 hits. 3-0 the count. Sogard had 2 4-hit games in San Diego in his first week with the Brewers. Missed all of last year with knee surgery. 3-0 the count with VR coming up next. And there's a strike. Osuna has walked one batter all season. Sogard's got him in a hitter's count. Switch hitter VR next. Hoping for an at-bat. And a swing and a foul, and it's back to 3-2. Back in the count is Osuna. Hoping to flash some nerd power here in the 9th inning. Eric Sogard.
He's flashed plenty of it so far.
Has 2 homers on the board, 7 RBIs in his 8 games. Wants a fastball. Sets up away. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Tying run is aboard. And another left-handed hitter coming up.
That's not something he does a whole lot. Only 2nd walk issued by Osuna this year. Yeah, make a mistake and send everybody home happy.
I like the way you're thinking. Rally caps are on. Do the Brewers have another comeback in them? Down a run, 2 outs. VR takes a ball. That's the other part of Osuna's game, by the way. Even though that was a ball, he's got the mid-90s fastball to go with that changeup and that slider.
Which is about average these days.
Full complement. Ball 2. Thames due next. Braun hoping for another chance. 2-0, hitters count. And PR took a swing at a 2-run home run.
And right at the top of the zone, straight as a string down the middle.
Oh,
a little underneath.
Just can't quite get to that letter high fastball. Tying run at first. 2-1 the count. Shot left field line, slicing foul. Hit it like a bullet, but late.
Pretty good pitch. But VR stayed right with it.
Now Osuna in the driver's seat. 2 strikes and a full arsenal. Strikeout pitch is his breaking ball. See what he has in mind. 2-2 to VR. Martin sets up outside. And he got him. Went with a fastball and struck him out to end the game. And the Blue Jays win the opener here in Milwaukee. Danny Barnes picks up the win out of the bullpen, his first career win in the majors. And the Blue Jays with a 4-3 victory. Osuna with his 7th save. Jimmy Nelson suffers the loss, goes 2-3. Brewers Live coming your way. Blue Jays win game 1. Got another one tomorrow afternoon. Craig and Davey will get you set up. Let's send it to Craig out in right field. Brewers Live right now.
Okay, BA, thanks a lot here. The Brewers, tough one. Boy, low-scoring games in this season.